As always, we have folks that are on the Tom Coughlin scale. And Gabe, if you would be so kind to turn your device sideways so you can take up the entire screen for me. So that way it's, so just kind of turn it like 45 degrees. Because right now you're like, there you go. There it is. Now you're taking up the full screen. There. Don't move it from there and then reset. And this is how we're producing kind of to folks in green room. So there he's good. Let me bring him in. That's how there you go. Long ways, sir.
Yeah. Did you see me trying to do it in the waiting room?
No, I didn't. I just saw the three stripes and I was like, okay, Gabe's in the middle. So I'll just go ahead and tell him to turn it a quarter turn.
It wasn't behaving for me. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to be old man vertical today. That's funny you said that, Tom Coughlin.
I am old man vertical, but well, the thing is that if you're 5 minutes early, you're on time. If you're on time, and if you're late, then Tom Coughlin's like the door's locked and you ain't coming to practice. So
I love it.
All right. So are you still in a hotel in Greenville, South Carolina, or did you go home?
I'm in Florida.
Oh, okay. You're in Florida.
Yeah.
Okay. So is that where you called the SoCon from yesterday?
No, I was in Greenville, South Carolina. Do you want me to break down the weekend I've had?
Yeah, you need to break down the weekend for me because I'm already confused.
Okay, you ready? So Wednesday night, I cut out and drove from Chattanooga to Kingsport, Tennessee, which is about a 3.5 hour drive.
Yes, it is.
Set up super late, like 2 a.m. Got set up for the Appalachian Athletic Conference volleyball tournament in one of the ballrooms there. Mm-hmm. Brought in a great announcer from Indiana, Dean Jackson, to help out. I did the first day with him and then handed it off on Friday. Went to Clinton, South Carolina, and called a college basketball game on ESPN. Drove back to Chattanooga, stayed the night, got up, scrambled to get ready for college football. Called the first ever AAC championship football game on Saturday at noon in Waleska, Georgia, just outside of Atlanta. Mm-hmm. Went home, changed, drove to Kingsport, tore down equipment, moved stuff to a ballroom for a Hall of Fame dinner stream, got all my stuff out of the hotel room, came back home, slept for 4 hours, drove to Greenville, called the SoCon title, then drove straight there to Orlando. So I'm now in Orlando. That's the kind of psychopath you have to be to broadcast sports.
You ain't kidding, brother. Man, that's how many different conferences?
That's a lot. That's 3. It's only 3.
Okay.
The opponent was a SoCon on Friday, so.
Okay.
Big South, SoCon, AAC.
Yes. And so it's the way that we can kind of break things down. And I've got a couple of things that I wanted to go and discuss with you here, sir, while you're there in Florida. I do have what went down in the SoCon final. So I guess this is toward the end of your story. The SoCon final with you and Maddie Cruz. Going into this one with Furman and UNC Greensboro, what kind of a match were you expecting, and how was it over that 90 minutes where if you looked at the scoreboard, you're kind of going, goalless, What was it like after 90 minutes?
Oh, no, it was not a goalless. It was oh, my goodness, I've never seen so many close scoring chances. I think Maddie might have felt a little different. I don't know if she's already been on. I think she was more frustrated with the fact that they couldn't finish once they'd get down there. I was loving it. Like Seth Wilson played out of his mind. It's too bad for the Spartans that somebody had to lose that title game, right? He played out of his mind. Ivan looks like the goalkeeper of the year. Great pick by the Southern Conference in that. I mean, they were unbelievable. Scoring chance, hammered, long pitches, high press. It was so much fun. I was having a blast. First half flew by. So then with how much the pace had picked up before the half, her and I talked off mic and again on the halftime show and kind of were like, I think this is going to be a track meet in the second half. Really felt like that's how it was going to go. It really slowed down. The first portion of that second half was kind of boring. Not the action we had gotten used to. Tatufa was pretty involved. A lot of the stars, really made their presence felt in that second half, whereas it had been more of a whole team match in the first half. But somehow we make it to the death scoreless, and it never felt boring to me. It felt like a track meet, full time, lots of fun. And so I started getting goosebumps right away. I'm like, we're looking for a golden goal here. This is unreal. This is like a once-in-a-lifetime experience for me. First overtime, nothing. I'm like, this is just insane. We're going to go to a shootout, which I did not want a shootout. Selfishly, I'm like, I really don't. I do love the shootout, and it's exciting, but there's some purity to the NCAA golden goal, right? And it's quite a magical moment that you can only capture in that kind of level. And so I'm like, I really want the golden goal. I really wanted a regulation goal or a golden goal. And there was a few chances in both overtimes, and I'm like, this is it right here. And it didn't happen. And all of a sudden, Mr. Reed made a great follow, great read, if you will, on the ball. I know. Sorry, Ryan. Wilson made a great diving save. I don't know if you've seen the highlight. Perfect placement, great positioning. I mean, that is a really well-coached keeper. He knew where to have his body in between the sticks, knew how to position himself, made the athletic save. But how do you defend Reed making an even better play? Reed, before the ball was even kicked, starts to move. If you watch that, his hips start to flip because he knows Wilson's going to make the save. Wilson bats it, and Ryan has followed right to the spot where the ball is coming back. That is just that's a kid who has played a lot of soccer. That's a kid who has been playing since he was 4 years old, that knows that's going to get saved, that knows he can follow that home for the winner, and he does it. And it's just an amazing moment, truly like an iconic golden goal. I'm sure the Southern Conference is just thrilled that that's how that ended. I don't think it gets more exciting than that.
And here was the call, as a matter of fact, with Gabe and Maddie, courtesy of our friends at ESPN Plus from Greenville, South Carolina, yesterday.
Long ball for the spot, not, and Wilson knocks it away. The golden goal. The Paladins of Furman follow it home to the twine. 1-0 with 3:41 left in overtime 2. Your Southern Conference champions.
Able to capitalize off of the moment. It's Seth Wilson who's able to get the initial save, and then in the follow-through on the rebound, Furman's able to slot it home. I mean, absolutely outstanding. Banging on the door. Furman's been trying it all game long, and they finally find it. They find the game winner, and they are your 2025 SoCon champion.
Courtesy of our friends at ESPN Plus, and this is something that I want to let everybody in on, behind the scenes. You laid out, and there was a reason I was counting on camera. You and Maddie laid out for 16 seconds after that goal was scored. Not every announcer does that in that kind of a situation. The art of the layout is something that gets lost, I think, these days with some announcers, where let the moment breathe, let people find out about it, and let them embrace the moment as well. Full credit to you and Maddie for laying out as long as you did there on a video, on a TV match, the way that you did to show how you're going to get a champion out of Furman.
Maddie's so good. Everything she said brought real value. If you've done so many broadcasts now, John. And I'm a broadcasting nerd, so I'm excited you brought that up. There's a lot of analysts that just say generic stuff, generic filler. When I serve as an analyst, even for American football, I feel like a lot of times I'm just saying some fluff. Great play right there. I keep it really positive. I don't even like to get technical because I feel like if you start to get too technical and you're like, oh, that's a spider 2 wide banana triple zone nickel dime, right? Like you want everybody to be able to understand what you're talking about. The audience is not just people who really love football. It's everybody. It's a grandma who does not understand the game that's watching her grandson. It's a sister who doesn't like football but is supporting her brother. And so you want them to be entertained as well. And that's always been a struggle for me to bring that value as an analyst. That's why I'm a play-by-play guy. I don't know any sport that well. Maddie did a great job from kickoff to the final whistle. That 107th minute goal. When I started doing USL 1, the MLS uses a talent consultant for their Fox broadcasting. And he stopped me in the hallway and he said, you know how to lay out. And he said, not a lot of guys do that. That's funny you bring that up. And shout out to Maddie for the patience, because as soon as that goal got scored, I finished the call and I went, hold on. And that was a long time, but man, you don't have to talk if the crowd can tell the story. And that crowd told the story of Paladin pride, of a 16th championship, back-to-back titles, the 11th for a 31st-year head coach that's retiring, Doug Allison. There was nothing to say.
No, and you and Maddie handled that situation really well in a hot environment with a hot crowd in the SoCon, and we're all waiting now for the Division I grid to come out when it comes to the postseason and men's soccer in 2025. All right, the other topic that I wanted to bring in has to do with the league that finished their regular season in 25 yesterday. And it was pillar to post for One Knox. I mean, literally, it was one of those seasons where you look at what Ian Fuller has done, and short of Chattanooga, it was one of those seasons where you're like, all right, you guys are the top dog, and I know that everybody's going to have to sit there and try and knock you off of it. And two highlights I want to get through here. The second one is the one that brings the thought bubble and the question marks over the head. I don't know if you've had a chance to see the highlights or not, but early opportunity here for One Knox to get on the board first half. And in front of that sellout crowd, they did exactly that, courtesy once again of our friends at USL League One and ESPN Plus.
Nudged forward by Callum Johnson. Tequila down the far side for Zaracostas, who chops it back not once but twice. Still Zaracostas, and it's a tap-in.
DN to come across, pull out the two center backs, which gives Rosamilia the ability to get goals.
So you have Zaracostas with the assist and sitting it right in the middle of things, and it's 1-0 at that point. And then there's a moment in the second half as Spokane is chasing after an equalizer. And for folks that were watching this is traditionally why we bring in Bart Keeler to do cards and calls, because it's reminiscent of a call that Atlanta United was they were on the wrong end of because it was called incorrectly. Here's the play. We're going to play it and the PK, and we'll walk through it after the fact. Once again, courtesy of our friends at ESPN Plus and USL League One.
Great ball in from Jordan Skelton. Now, notice the amount of numbers able to go forward with the end and Tequila right side of your screen.
Richie on the overlap goes down, and the referee's pointed for a penalty. It was inside the 18-yard box.
Of replay here, but notice the initial contact here from Lucky Opara. It's clearly outside the 18-yard box, about half of a yard.
And Carlos Marancio, who was the hero in the shootout in the semifinal. Big moments in the quarterfinal as well. But he's beaten by Kempis Tequila, who makes no mistake from the penalty spot. Tequila was the hero in the semifinal. He scores a goal in the final under controversy, but Spokane are down 2-0. One Knox, and their fans won't care one bit.
Right in the semis, point to 12 yards out, and still, if you are Tequila, you need to execute it. Notice the hits at the last second. He opens them, Marancio goes one way at the last second. That's when he closes his hips and just ropes this ball to this near post. Really well taken pen from Tequila, and One Knox doubled their lead.
Now, the play in question, and it was referenced in the replay of the call. When they go back to replay, you hear, I believe it was Ricky Lopez-Espin who was doing color, and you notice that the end zone shot shows that the foul happened outside the 18. Play continued, player goes down inside the 18. The way, if I'm remembering the rule correctly, you go back to the spot of the foul, not to where a player falls down. And so if he falls down inside the 18 and the most of the action happens inside the 18, if the foul happens outside the 18, you're supposed to go to that point of the foul. They instead call it a penalty. Tequila converts it. It's 2-0, and One Knox goes on for the title. I'm not saying that this is going to impact one thing or another in the match. I'm just saying that the foul happened outside the 18, and it should have been a set piece from about 19 and a half yards out as opposed to a shot from the spot.
I agree.
Oh, and so One Knox gets the title. From the time that you spent in League One this season, when you look at what you've seen from One Knox, what has stuck in your brain about what Ian Fuller has done this year?
There's just no way to stop them. I mean, they always found a new way to score. I mentioned it the last 2 weeks I've mentioned it, but like every week that I was covering One Knox, I'd be like, oh, I'm doing One Knox this week. like, oh, they can always score on set pieces. Good on set pieces. I didn't see a single set piece goal. Did you see a set piece goal there? No. Well, actually, they did have the penalty, but come on. I know where are these set piece goals everyone's talking about? Great season, man. Ian Fuller's all business. I mean, I saw that Stavros Zaragoza goal in the 4th minute. Exact same formula towards the end of the year. It was Babacar Dian, though, that was just in front of the 6-yard box. Very same play, right down the end line, right from the right side of the stick, right if you're facing the goal, pitched out front, and Babacar chested it in. He came up and hit it with his chest and just perfect delivery. I mean, that they just always have some sort of trick in the bag, up the sleeve. Very athletic, very physical, well coached. They know all facets of the game. And, if you try to say, oh, One Knox is going to win on the counter by pressing up from midfield and getting great passes over the top, you'd be wrong, because they can also high press and they're great on the back and they are great at possession and they're good. You know what I mean? They're just good at every facet of the game. And so, similarly to like we talked about NYRB2 and MLS Next Pro, the conversation was never how does One Knox win? It was how does anyone else beat One Knox? And that remained the conversation all the way through the title game. How does Spokane, with all their brilliance, with all their physicality, with all their talent, with a brilliant mind like he'd been leading them along the touchline, how do they overcome the overwhelming One Knox? And the answer was they don't, unfortunately for them. But fun to watch them play. 7,500 fans, historic night. Shout out to the broadcast team. They did a fantastic job. 2 superstars, Ricky Lopez-Espin, one of my favorite guys I've ever worked with. And just a great all-around show. Lots of fun to watch, and definitely took a moment to watch the highlights. That first goal, though, was just unreal in the 4th minute. I mean, that was a great tone setter. And from there, you wipe away the shot from the spot, make it a set piece, and it's 1-0. It's still all One Knox.
All right, time to get out the yearbook at USL One High School and look at the senior superlatives. Everyone has signed the yearbook. They've made their messages. Hey, Westchester SC, you were a great student. Thanks for coming to USL League One High. We'll see you in 2026. Those kinds of things. Yes, exactly. You go to the librarian. If Westchester goes to the librarian, hey, can you sign my yearbook for me? Thank you for returning all of your books on time this season. Back to the library, and you look at it and you go, the librarian signed my yearbook, one of those kinds of things. Looking at the awards from the year and who got voted what. JC Obregon, obviously player of the year, 17 regular season goals and a standout campaign for the first-year club. Obviously, if you take Obregon's numbers and what he meant to Westchester, literally it was, a goal difference of -16. Think of what the season would have been for Westchester if Obregon was not there.
Not great. Not a good look. He was unreal. I mean, one of my favorite athletes I've seen play all year, if not in the last few years. New York native. So really cool to see a guy from the area sign with Westchester and help them out. Super athletic, brilliant in all facets of the game. And there's nobody, listen, I'm an American soccer fan. I love scoring. I want to see the lid blown off. I want to call it a 6-0 match where Inter Miami 2 comes to Chattanooga and gets their brakes beat off, right? I live for that. Juan Carlos Obregon is one of the most exciting goal scorers you're going to see play the game. And every time he scores, it seems like it is very obvious he is about to score. He breaks away on a counter. He's got the ball. He is so fast, he could just yo-yo that thing right around you. And even though he's got the ball and he's controlling it, he's just too fast. You're not going to get in his way. You're not going to stop him. You're not going to shut him down. A couple of those cutback scores that I got to call this year that he made, unreal. They're some of my favorite goals I've ever seen. The athleticism, the physicality, and just the pure raw talent out of him is really unmatched and well-deserved player of the year.
Mark Bronick gets Young Player of the Year from his time at Union Omaha. 6 goals for Union Omaha as they made the push in the second half of the year because they were down below the playoff bar and early in the season, and they did not get off to a good start. They kept stepping on rakes any opportunity they got. It's like they step on the one rake, they get smashed in the head. They turn to the left, get smashed with another rake, and it's like, the shooting gallery where you're you sit there, you take the rigged BB gun and you're trying to shoot the duck, and the duck goes here and goes back and forth every time you hit it. That's what it looked like with Union Omaha, just trying to get out of their own way. They hit fire probably the halfway point of the season, and our friend Jamie Henderson, now sporting director up there, and they got north of the playoff bar and caused some problems. Veronica's Young Player of the Year. Scott McKenzie's League One Coach of the Year ahead of Ian Fuller.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about this already. Funny, I feel like it's funny I picked Juan Carlos. Like, that's kind of low-hanging fruit with so many goals scored, 17 goals scored. Ian Fuller, I get it, but probably the same reasoning that I said, right? Scott McKenzie and the Chattanooga Red Wolves were consistent. They were durable. They rode the wave, and they sailed the ship through the season. He stuck with his game plan, and McKenzie is going to have a long, successful career in the beautiful game because of the way that he operates on the touchline, on the field, and training. Just really impressive showing again this season, and excited to see him be able to win that award for his hard work and the way he turned the Red Wolves around and took them from, it's probably going to be a rough year for Chattanooga, to, oh, wow, look out for the Red Wolves, here they come. Pretty cool stuff.
Jordan Skelton gets League One Defender of the Year, sets a single season record in League One with 34 blocks for One Knox. And then Sean Lewis at One Knox gets Keeper of the Year once again, getting ready for the League One final. I think he had 74 clean sheets this season in League One. So the fact that One Knox got a bit of a monopoly on the postseason awards, no real surprise, but Jordan Skelton for Defender and Sean Lewis for Keeper.
And that back line on One Knox is so good. Like, some other guys that maybe should have been in the running, right? Like Jordan Skelton had an unreal year, but that whole back line of One Knox is nuts. I mean, you get through midfield and it's like, oh, now I've got to face this superstar back line. I just barely got through midfield. It's no wonder nobody can score on him. And Lewis is back there bored, picking at the grass like he's 6 years old because nobody ever comes to see him on that end of the field. He's all alone down there. He had a great year. Every time somebody was able to get through that defense and get a quality shot off on him, which you see a lot of in USL 1, he was ready. I mean, he was lights out, and 74 clean sheets is about right.
Yeah.
Penetrable brick wall. I can't say enough about what One Knox was able to do on the field this year from a technical standpoint, from an excitement standpoint, from a league growth standpoint, from a game growth standpoint. 7,500 fans at the final in Knoxville on Rocky Top. That's sick. They cut the net down. I love it. It was great. It was a great outing. It was exactly what USL 1 needed. It was exactly not what they needed. It was what they deserved. It was a great ending to an awesome season. Very well managed. A lot of fun to follow along. Loved every minute of it.
All right. So now, why are you in South Florida?
I am here for some vague, suspicious meetings. And, yeah, a little suspicious activity this week. I'm not in Florida. I'm in Orlando. So I'm going to cut over to Jacksonville and visit not the Miami Dolphins, but the Dolphins, and then head back to Chattanooga, Tennessee. Got some PC football this weekend, Marist, and hoping I can maybe pick up some more soccer. We'll see.
Okay, yeah, because as the Blue Hose continue to work their way in the postseason when it comes to the other stuff that we do on the other side of the aisle here at the store, might catch up with you and get our Blue Hose intel as well. As always, my friend, great to see you. Thanks for dropping by and giving us everything that happened with the SoCon, with the USL League One. Don't be a stranger. You got the keys to the kingdom. You can crash it at any time.
Hey, thanks for having me. I will call you soon, my friend.
Go get some coffee in a Danish or something.
I haven't had any coffee yet. I'm ready.
Okay, go get your coffee.